Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Zelkenon, and this is another Smite Super Builds. Today's episode is Ra, the Sun God, right? Alright. So, real quickly, through the course of this video, I've been going over several builds, probably around 3 total builds. I have been trying to strafe away from playing Ao Kuang so much since I got him legendary a few days ago. And lately I've been just kind of looking for a really good alternative to Ao Kuang's power output, and so I've been playing a lot of Hebo, Poseidon, Ra, some mages that I'm fairly good at least I try to be, and just trying to find out builds for those gods and see where I can get with them and how much power output and how well I can play them myself. I know other mages are, they can be really high powered. It's just I'm not good at all of them. I try to be as best as I can. But so I've been playing along with Ra, and I think I got kind of a build down. So real quickly, let's go over this, and I will discuss some alternatives to these items and for other builds. So let's go ahead and go. So actives. Since Ra has no real escape besides his 2, which allows him to blind and slow other people that are around him, enemies of course, and and his 3 that allows him to heal himself and allies. I got like hiccups or something, sorry, and damaging others, enemies obviously. So I have been, needing to buy purification beads quite often, just from fighting people like Fenrir and some Thors that just dunk on me all the time. So actives, they totally vary on who you're fighting, of course. I always say that in my videos, but beads work really well. Sprint, this is really fun because you can be really slippery as Ra, based with your passive, which pretty much, if you're not aware of that, Ra's passive, every time you use an ability, you have a speed of light buff increase, and it stacks 3 times by the amount. So movement speed, so 8% times 3, do the math and you find that out, but you can move fairly quickly for the next 10 seconds after you use an ability. That's why sometimes after get out your fountain or your respawn area, you'll see some Raws go ahead and cast their abilities while they're in there. That way they can get a movement speed buff when they leave it. So sprint, and that allows you to be really evasive and really slippery, and it's just really fun. So if you prefer other actives as Ra, go ahead. These are just some suggestions. So I start with boots right away. I like to get the penetration boots because I follow up with more penetration. I like to get early penetration cap. Well, this is not exactly a cap. It is let's see. Oops, sorry. It's 40 out of 50. So that's fairly close to cap, and I like it. It allows for really early heavy damage. And also with what's nice about Focus Voidstone is the defense and power. But let's say you're not fighting any magical gods, or maybe you're only fighting one magical god, or very few if it's like Assault or whatever the case may be. If you're fighting little to none, then I'll go ahead and not get this. Instead, for penetration wise, I'll probably go with Spirit Magus. With this passive, it works really well with your 3. If you place your 3 offensively, trying to deal damage to the opponent, then that means per tick it'll reduce their magical protection and allowing you to deal more damage. So this would be a great alternative as far as penetration, or you may see fit to get Obsidian Shard. That is totally up to you. Obsidian Shard is fairly it's cheaper in the long run, I think. About evens out a little bit. So those 2 are alternatives. I wouldn't get Demonic Grip unless if you like basic attack, and for some strange reason, that is up to you. If it is a all mage fight in Assault, go ahead and start with Focus Voidstone right away. This is a terrific item in Assault if it's all magical, or let's say 4 magical. Like I said, for the protection and power and great penetration. But let's go ahead and continue with this build before I move on to different varieties. Chronos Pendant, he works really well with cooldown reduction, mainly because his ultimate alone is a really short cooldown. And on top of that, if you get Chronos Pendant or Breastplate of Valor, you know, the 25% CDR, it lowers your cooldown reduction by quite a bit, and so your ulti can go off every 37.5 seconds if you have your ultimate maxed. It's insane. So this allows more of the new people to raw to have more chances of landing your, you know, Searing Pain or your snipe, if you will. So, you know, if you're not that good at aiming, this allows you for more chances to, you know, land it. If you are good at aiming, more power to you. You can land more snipes because these things hit fairly hard, to be honest with you. And also, you know, of course, allows you to, you know, heal more often. Even though it's still 13.5 seconds, it's still kind of high. Divine Light, 9 seconds, not bad at all. And it's 7.5, not bad at all. That's really great. Also, as you can see, it does a crazy amount of damage as a basic attack. Not basic attack, but a basic ability. So, yeah, that is that. Next, we have Polynomicon. If you're not good at aiming basic attacks and don't get this, instead for lifesteal, I'll go ahead and get Bandicrafts. You can Bandcrafts. I don't know why I threw in the D in there, but Bandicrafts Talon. This would be a great alternative for your lifesteal. The reason why I like lifesteal is because with your 3, when you place it down on minions or whatever, it allows you to get, you know, lifesteal off of that. Or if you're like standing on top of minions, and then you put that on you, so you have, you know, your healing regeneration and your lifesteal. I don't know, if you don't like lifesteal, then go ahead and get a different item. But I like lifesteal. Again, this is another really great assault item. So if you don't want to start with Focus Void Stone, or you just got Focus Void Stone and you're looking for other great items for mages and assaults, I'll go ahead and grab this. You don't have to be fighting an all mage team or whatever. This is just great, period, for mages. Allows them for really heavy power at a low cost, because you start with 3,000 gold, so you can go ahead and buy this first, which I typically do. I go ahead and buy this, you know, the full tier, and I go ahead and get Meditation too, and that takes up all your gold. But it's really worth it, you know. Great life steal, and also, hey, the more they hurt you, the more power you're going to do with the passive. So this is a great alternative, you know, for assault, or if you don't want Polynomicon because you're not good at basic attacks. Not everybody's good at basic attacks, I understand that, but I like basic attacking with Polynomicon. It's a beast. So this hits fairly hard with you know, with playing raw. Next up, we have Gem of Isolation. I like this because of your 3. It's a wide area of effect, as seen here. So you place that offensively, and you can slow your enemies down by 25%. This allows you to follow up with your 1. So if they're slow and they're strafing left, you can go ahead and quickly aim left, predicting where they're going to walk towards, and it'd be much easier to hit a slower target than hit a very fast target. So that is that. And also, this should and it will apply to your 2. So after they're slowed by this, and then they take damage, you know, it bursts out and does damage around them, then they also get slowed again by 25%. So they're slowed for quite a while if they're trying to attack you and you cast your 2 out. So it's a really great item. You know, plus 70 power is really great, and it gives you some more survivability with the HP and mana aspect to it. And finally, Rod of Tahuti, the great and almighty powerful rod for mages. That is very explanatory. Also, real quickly, I just remembered, for Chronos Pendant, it's also really great in Assault because of the MP5 regeneration. So it allows you to stay in lane. So starter items for Raw and Assaults, Focus Void Stone. If you don't want that, Chronos Pendant also really great because of the, you know, obviously CDR, the powers are really nice, and the MP5 allows you to stay in lane longer. Or the Bandcrafts Talon. Those are really great starter items for Raw and Assault. Okay. So if you're fighting a lot of physicals, let's say if it's 3v3 joust and you're fighting against 2 or all 3 of them are physicals, then instead of Chronos Pendant, I love getting Breastplate of Valor. I totally messed that up. Valor. There you go. As you see, it's really cheap, so you can get this early on or anytime at all because it's really cheap. This allows you the same cooldown reduction, 25%, but also offers 75 physical protection and 550 mana. This is a really great item if you're fighting a lot of physicals, either whatever, assault or arena or 3v3s. Typically, I see have to use this often in 3v3s because I'd be fighting a lot of 2 physical characters like an assassin and a warrior. Lately, been fighting a crap load of Nemesis. Every single match since Nemesis launch, I've always fought Nemesis in every single match. It's driving me crazy. But I know, obviously, people want to try the new god. I did the same thing too, except I did on launch day and got that over and done with the mastery. But that's fine with me. Slowly she'll die down. Speaking of Nemesis, she got nerfed today, so that is cool. Not really. I don't know. Depends. But yeah, this is a great alternative. Breastplate of Valor. Great. Yeah, you lose your power, but you know, you need some defense if you're fighting physicals that are really aggressive towards you. So let's go ahead and sell that. Let's get our Chronos Pendant. And before I move on any further, I want to go ahead and test out some damage. So let's go ahead and get our red buff. As you can see with this build, we have 525 power. It's not the highest, but it's fairly decent. It's the power of a 3, R1. Now we have red buff, so now we have 624 power. Let's go ahead Gold Fury. R1. Polynomicon 624. Heals 193. Yeah, 193. Pretty nice. Let's go ahead and drink our Magical Might Potion, 696. Elixir, 816. Wow, that jumped up quite a bit. Wow, yeah. So let's go ahead and 1v1 raw, as raw. So ulti, 1500 and 906. That is a lot of damage. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and it's up, you know, in 37 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and try Fire Giant out. This may take a little bit longer, so I haven't tested this out, so I don't know how long it's going to take. Apparently not long at all. Okay. So that went fairly smooth. A little bit. So now with Fire Giant buff, 2 potions, and red buff, our power is at an amazing 935. Let's go ahead and ulti Gold Fury real quickly. It's 1600 and oh god. The highest I've ever ultied somebody as raw in a match, it was an arena that I think was like 1500 or something. Yeah, I think it's 1500. Highest I got with Quang was 1800 ulti as out Quang. But regardless, raw does some fairly good damage as long as you know how to evade nicely and you know, can land your skills. So it varies quite a bit. What else was I going to talk about? Now, in Conquest, Raw can do solo lane, which is the short lane, or you may see him in the mid lane, which is not too often. He's more seen in the solo lane because he can heal himself and clear minions really fast, versus, of course, other warriors or mages. Oh yeah, so if you're fighting gods like Vamana or Hercules, this is a tip for all mages, is I'll go ahead and get Divine Ruin. Not too many people use this item or know this item, but if you're fighting, like I said, Vamana that has really high HP 5 with his ulti, or Hercules with his 3, or any other god that has really high HP regeneration, this shuts them down. And by how is with the passive. Enemies hit by your abilities have 25% reduced healing and regeneration for the next 3 seconds, and you can stack this up to twice, and you can also refresh it, obviously. So that's 50% of their healing and regeneration is gone. I wish I recorded this, but I fought a Vamana in arena, and this completely shut him down. I was able to kill him like in his ulti. It like everybody's like, don't hit him, he'll last longer. I'm like, I know that, but I got this. I got Divine Ruin, and sure enough, killed him in his ulti. That giant baby fell down, and that was the game from there. So this is a really great item to shut down those gods. Not too many people think about it, but this is also great if you're a single target mage like Zeus or Kronos. Then go ahead and get Divine Wrath, because this is with basic attacks have 50% reduced healing and regeneration for 3 seconds. So get that if you're Kronos or Zeus, or maybe Nuwa actually also. Man, I think I covered everything. Hopefully. Stack items, I wouldn't really recommend stack items. If you're building for more of a tanky raw, which I'm not surprised, but I thought of it. I've seen it quite often. I'll definitely get Warlock Sash if you want to build a more tanky raw. I would only do this if you're really good and Conquest and lane clearing, or Arena probably the best for this. But like I said in other videos, for stack items, get it before your 4th item. Try getting your first 3 items. That way you can finish it earlier and benefit the the full value of the passive. So this will definitely make you tanky. So go ahead and get like Warlock Stash and freaking clan status. And instead of Chronos Pendant, go ahead and get Breastplate of Valor. Those are 2 tanky items right there. And still go ahead and go with Focus Void Stone, more tankiness. And Shoes of Magi, stick with that. And those are 4 tanky items. You've got Valor, Focus Void Stone, and your boots, and Warlock Sash. Those are your 4 core items as a tanky raw. The other 2 are totally up to you. I'd most likely still get Gem of Isolation, because it still helps you survive longer with your your HP and mana. For more power, the last items, I'll probably just go ahead and get Rod and or Bandicrafts. So that pretty much covers everything for Raw in the Smite Super builds. If I missed anything by chance, let me know in the comments below. If you wish to see a specific build for any god or whatever, let me know in the comments below also. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you stuck around this long during the video. And yeah, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.